Good afternoon, I'm Jeff. I'm a Sewer Tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 5120 Northwest 24th Avenue here in Portland. We're located at the rear of the home. We're just off to the side here of the rear entrance. We have a 3-inch ABS cleanout as our point of access. I'm going to insert the camera and check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. We currently have water running. I am going to have to scope two different directions here. It's kind of an unusual setup. This line is actually flowing back into the home here, so it looks like there's a pipe that comes out the back of the house and then it flows back through the back of the house. So anyway, we'll have to reverse direction and scope back the other direction here once we're all finished up. And it looks like it transitions immediately upon access over to cast iron pipe. It appears to still be 3-inch there. And anyway, here we go. I'm going to keep the camera moving pretty quickly. If I have to push the camera through a bunch of turns inside the house, I have to have it moving quick, but I will reel back slower. Alright, here at 37 feet, the line transitions from 3-inch cast iron over to 6-inch concrete pipe. It looks like a pretty much shot straight through the crawl space there. It does appear that we have some roots that have penetrated here in the line. It looks like there's roots. It's kind of hard to tell what that is there on the kind of the upper left side of the pipe. There's a white stringy item there hanging down. It does look like roots, but it's a really hard one to tell. It almost looks like a piece of wire too. We'll have another look at that on the way back out. But then just off to the side of that right here, we definitely have a root intrusion coming through. That one looks like it's penetrated right through the side wall of the pipe. That's because the aggregate has become brittle. There's a lot of large aggregate rock showing through here, and the roots are able just to punch right through the sidewall, it looks like. We have more roots penetrating here at about 51 feet out. More roots here at 53 feet. You can see there that those roots are coming straight through the sidewall. When that happens, that means the pipe is very, very thin and is at a point where it can just break and drop out the bottom. And it's likely that there's this because of the eggshell condition the line is in, it's probably allowing water to seep out through the bottom of the pipe, right through the wall of the sewer line. Now we have a really offset joint right here at 56 feet. It looks like it's transitioning over to clay pipe. I'm having a lot of difficulty here getting the camera to go over this joint. I'm going to try a toilet flush to see if that'll help get the camera over the top there. Otherwise, we'll have to stop here. I'll get this spot located, figure out where it's at. And then, unfortunately, we'll have to have the rest of the line scope once a repair has been done. Unfortunately, the flush did not help there. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get the water turned off, let the line drain out here, and I'm going to go locate the camera head and see where we're at. But essentially, the entire concrete section of the line is shot. It is still functioning. The nice part here is that the line, or the concrete pipe, has good slope and grade throughout. So it's a great candidate for doing a pipe liner on it, which is a trenchless repair technique. You don't have to dig anything up. It's definitely worth looking into both traditional trenching and underground repair to see which is more cost effective. But you at least have the option in this circumstance. There's no standing water. This joint might be a little bit of an issue to line past. You'd have to talk to the repair guys about that. But I think this whole section here could probably be lined. But anyway, the entire concrete section is an eggshell, very brittle condition. We have roots that are coming right through the wall of pipe. Generally, roots come through joints, which is the weak spot. In this situation, the pipe is so thinned, the roots are able to just come right through the concrete pipe. So it's at a point where it needs to be updated. Luckily, it is still functioning, but this is on its very last leg. The parts of the line are going to start breaking free at some point and opening up giant holes in the pipe and stuff like that. Once it gets to this condition, it's pretty much shot. So anyway, I'm going to use white paint to map everything out. I will mark right here with a white X. I'll put an X at either end of the repair, or I'm sorry, X here at the end. I'll try and do a white T right where the transition from cast iron to concrete is, and then just some lines or dots in between those points showing where the line's going. Alright, I did locate the camera head. This spot right here, just keep in mind, consider the marking to be slightly rough. There's a car parked right up against the curb where I'm trying to locate, which is making it a little difficult to get right over the top of the camera head. But I'm very close there. I've marked the curb. This is right at the street curb with a white X. We're picking the depth up there around 7 feet deep. I'm going to do another locate right in the sidewalk just behind this just to get another double check on the locate and depth there. But anyway, we've got an offset joint here. It's very offset and separated by about 1 inch or so. The camera won't even pop over that. We also have roots that are coming through right there as well. So I recommend that be where the repair ends at. In this part of town, in Multnomah County, the city is responsible from everything between the two curbs. So the whole street section is the city's responsibility, which from this point onward is the city's. So anyway, we were able to scope all the pipe on property the homeowner is responsible for. Alright, located here in the sidewalk area, where I was able to get right on top of the camera head, and I'm actually getting the depth here at about 4 feet, so it's very likely that the depth is shallower than that right at the curb. I was kind of locating at kind of a funky angle there, which will throw the depth off, but the line I put in the sidewalk does line up pretty much directly with the X on the curb, so that locates on with that depth there at the curb. Just use some caution. It looks like it's probably around 4 or 5 feet deep there. Alrighty, here at 44 feet, I've done another marking. This is right in the front yard area. It kind of terraces down just before the sidewalk starts. It's up on that little terrace there, the front yard, amongst all the flowers. Have a white line drawn there. And because of that, there's a terrace there with about a 2-foot retaining wall. The depth here is increased to about 6 feet deep. Now, with the amount of landscaping and stuff you have to deal with, the fence and everything there, I would definitely look into doing a trenchless repair, doing a pipe liner on this to avoid having to tear all that stuff up. And here is the cast iron transition, so I'm going to mark right here. I'll mark with a white T. Now, luckily the cast iron extended out of the house there a ways, so you're not starting right at the foundation, which is nice. There's only about 20 feet of sewer pipe here to do a repair on. Alright, I had to move the camera around here a little bit while it was paused to do locates. Right at the transition point, it looks like it's underneath the one of the planter boxes there at the front of the house. It's kind of a difficult spot to locate because it's under it, but it's kind of underneath one of the 2x4s that's framing it. So anyway, I have a white marking that's just off to the side of the planter box, but it is actually underneath it. I just don't want to spray a bunch of paint in their vegetables. Anyway, and I'm getting a depth there of roughly 5 feet. Again, this is another spot where I'm locating at an angle, not right on top of the camera head, due to the planter box in the way. So use some caution when digging there. I did push the camera out, obviously, here to about 40 feet, which is closer to where the property drops off to the terrace. And I was getting a locate there of right around 4 feet, but there's a tree there and some bushes and stuff that are making it tricky to get right on it. So it looks like the depth is ranging from about 4 to 6 feet deep across the entire repair, though. So just use a little bit of caution when digging. But anyway, I recommend a line replacement here from the, I kind of went past it, from the cast iron transition here at about 37 feet out, all the way out to 56 feet, which is at the street curb. It's all the concrete pipe on property. From the curb out, once again, is the city's responsibility, so you could do a rescope. I always recommend rescoping after the fact, after you've done the repair, to ensure it was done properly, that doesn't have a bunch of bellies in it or something like that. And then you can scope the street portion of the line and see how that looks. But again, that is the city's responsibility. So it's not too concerning if you don't see that. But you can find some issues, though, you can make the city aware of from time to time. Due to the fact the concrete is an eggshell, very brittle condition, most of those roots aren't even coming through the joints. They're punching straight through the wall of the pipe. That concrete is very, very thin, and it's ready to go. It's likely allowing water to seep out throughout the concrete there, just right down through the aggregate rock. And it's allowing roots to come through. So anyway, it's time for it to be replaced. Luckily, it is still functioning and drains well, as none of the roots have blocked up the line yet or anything like that. So it makes it a great candidate for doing a pipeliner, which is, again, a trenchless technique. Anyway, I'm just about to reel the camera out of the line. We do have proper flow to the main lateral, and by that I mean there's no standing water in the line. We do have some roots coming in throughout the sewer pipe that if left to be, left to grow, they can block up the pipe. But anyway, due to the repair, or get the concrete repaired and then do a rescope to check the repair work, and then you can also scope the city's portion of the line. I'm going to reverse direction here real quick. Kind of run back into the house. Well, for whatever reason, the way that this cleanout is set up here, when I try and go the other direction, the camera just will not bend to go back that way. So, anyway, it likely does not have all that much pipe here to scope back into the house. And generally, this is something I wouldn't normally do here, but unfortunately, I am not able to go back that direction. It does appear that the line has been updated from this point back the other direction into the house, based on its ABS pipe here. And you could talk to the homeowner about that, see if they can verify that. But there's probably only a couple, 2-3 feet here to scope back towards the house.